Good morning. If you don't know, I'm David Handy, youth minister here at Cornerstone. I
just said they know you.
Well, most of them do. But this morning, I just, if my students will tell you, I'm not a good reader, and I'm not a good person who just follows script or whatever. I'm a better person just speaking from the heart. So I hope that this morning you'll just allow me to speak from the heart. That's just who I am. We was talking about stewardship. And I asked, could I just give a personal testimony? Because I believe personal testimonies are the thing. I love them. My family started back on a journey in 2002. Didn't know where that was going to take us, but I knew I loved working with students. Students was my passion, my love, and my joy. So I was going in 2002 to a church in Huntsville. Every weekend that was all I was off. I was working in the mills then, and I didn't have much time off, but when I was able to get off, I was going through a one-year course in Huntsville. Traveled there a lot. One night during one of my sections, a pastor told me, he said, write down what ministry means to you. And I want you to leave 3 blanks without anything in them. And when you get through this whole course and you figure out what them 3 things that really touch your heart means to you, write them down, come back in and let me know. Well, one of those weekends during my course, I went to a walk to Emmaus. I was sitting down at the cross area, and God just laid it on my heart, what those 3 was. What was the 3 that really meant the world to me? I couldn't wait to get back to Huntsville to turn it in. When I did, I wrote down on my sheet of paper, I said, number 1 is baptism. I didn't see somebody get baptized and I just get tear. It just means the world to me. Number 2 is communion. When I come to that altar table and take the bread and the juice, that means the world. Number 3 is tithing, giving, because I know where that money goes. I know where it supports. I love tithing. On my last weekend in Huntsville, I came home, I called my pastor on the way. I said, Pastor, I know what I want to do for a living. I've been doing it part-time. I want to do this full-time. Now, this is a church that's never hired a full-time person in their life except the pastor. Jimmy Yates can tell you. I got back, and the pastor said, whoo, okay. We got to talk about this because the budget was coming up first of the year. Got back, got into town. Monday morning, my SBRC chairman named Mark was sitting at our kitchen table. He said, David, that sounds exciting, but I don't know if we can afford it. I said, but you just bring me a number and we'll work from there. And to some of you, $40,000 may not seem much, but $40,000 is what I was making in the mill. By Friday, the SBRC called me and he said, hey, we're really ready to take a chance. We want to have faith in it. Could you come to work for us $25,000? I said, whew. I said, I'm in. You guys are taking a leap of faith. Why can't I take a leap of faith? I got with Stacy, and that was another story. Stacy's like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't know if we can afford that. But remember what I said, tithing was very important to me. I went to the pastor's office and I said, before I accept the job, I got to tell you one thing. I don't know if I can afford 10% out of my salary. I'm already doing 15%. I'm already giving up $15,000. He said, and I want you to remember this number, 3%. He said, try your best to give 3%. Change light bulbs or whatever else you got to do around church, do it. So I was like, well, I will do 3% as much as I can. Toward the end of the year, we got things going. Everything was going. Everything was building. The pastor said at the end of the year, I want to give you a $5,000 raise. I said, wow, we won't have to eat. We can eat pretty good now. So he gave us a $5,000 raise and a trip to Walt Disney World. I was like, yeah, I'm in. We was at Walt Disney World. First of the year, well, I got my $5,000 raise. I was up to $30,000. I was happy. Went to Walt Disney World. We was laying in the bed, just chilling out from a long day. And Stacy's boss, CEO at the credit union, calls her. He says, I'm ready to step down. I'm going to give you the head job of the CEO if the board approves it. She said, oh, that'd be awesome. Along with that is a $10,000 raise. Within my year, a year and 2 months, I had my $15,000 back. I stepped out on faith, church stepped out on faith, and there we was. And I went straight in church office and I said, hey, take the 10% out of my check. And people can tell you that knows that church, they went on to hire a full-time music leader and on and on. Grew like crazy. We was blessed. So I'm just telling you guys, it is very important to give. I take it very seriously. With saying all of that, I forgot what else I was going to say. I drew a blank. But anyway, Billy, you want to come on up, bro? I know you. But I do. I think tithing is very important. And then, I know what I wanted to say. It just hit me. Sorry, I'm getting old. Before Billy talks, I go back to that 3%. Statistics show if you got a church of 300 or 400 people, 75 to 100 people are not giving anything. Not giving anything. And if this makes you mad, I'm sorry. It's just me speaking from the heart. 3%. People are not giving nothing. So I look at this crowd, so 100 people, would you stand up? So would all this side of the room stand up? Look over here to this side. You're not giving nothing, what statistics show. Look over here and tell this side thank you for all they're doing. Because they're supplying a great youth department, a great children's department, a group that can go to Cheehaw Mountains on Thursday, older folks. They're supplying all that. So you ought to tell them thank you. Or you ought to go into the office and say, I want to try my 3%. Thank you, guys.